Here we go. So, in the order that they appear before my eyes on my computer, Angela Contreras says, is anyone going to be challenging New York's baby murder law in court? If so, why has it not happened yet? Anytime Donald J. Trump tries to do anything, there's a legal challenge response almost immediately. That's a great question, isn't it? For those of you who have not heard, is it New York City or New York State? I know it's New York City. It's maybe the state as well. I guess it must be. They've decided that abortion is legal up until birth. If you change your mind about having your baby while you're about to be getting your anesthesia in the hospital, if you change your mind then and you decide rather than giving birth to the baby, you decide you'd rather have it just killed, then okay, that's all right with the state of New York. You know, this is a third rail topic, abortion, and there are many different opinions on it on the right. But this is just horrifying and disgraceful. And for all of them, it's New York State, and for all of them, you know, all of these progressives that are doing their chest thumping, showing how unbelievably morally advanced they are. See, they're so advanced that they're ready to, you know, to kill a 9-month-old child. And what could be more advanced than that? What could be a greater sign of love and respect for women than making that legal? We live in a time that is just. We live in a time that cannot continue, because there's no way that a society can continue with this kind of legal code based on this kind of moral code. So we good guys have to stick together. It's one of the reasons why we do this show. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you know, the thing is, they're also. You can tell that on some level, I think these people are just so proud of themselves, and I bet they can't wait to tell their European betters at the next film festival that they finally caught up to Europe, that they have the same abortion laws that Europe has. But it turns out I don't believe there's any country in Europe where you can have an abortion after the first trimester. So it turns out we're even more advanced than they are. What do you know? I don't know. You know, I just don't know what to do about it. I really don't. Comes a point when you realize that there's only, all you can do is all you can do. And at that point, justice is up to somebody else. And what do you say about that? You know? Angela, I don't know what to tell you, but your interesting point about the legal presence, right? So Donald Trump decides he wants to use his constitutional authority to defend the United States against armed invasion, and some judge somewhere decides to block this. This is an absolute mystery to me how they get to do it. He's just decided to block it. And so now we go through this thing. Great line, Steve. He just is not allowed to do anything. And then something like this happens, and of course we're powerless. Steve Darrow put this better than I've ever seen it ever. He just wrote, you can actually kill a baby up until the time that it commits a capital offense. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you can murder your kid unless he commits murder. And if he commits murder, then the death penalty is an abomination. I don't know what to say about this, and I don't really feel like continuing on this topic other than to say, again, you know, it's not a question of religion. It's not a question of I think we're way past issues of gun control and abortion and all of this back and forth. I, honest to God, think it's just now it is down to there are people who are good people and people who are evil people. And I don't know how you can push a law like that and still face yourself. I can certainly understand why women would have an abortion. I can certainly understand scared young women who might be abandoned by their boyfriend or husband or whatever. I can understand all of this. I can. But what I cannot understand is who would make a push to write laws like that. The only politician I ever heard who talked about abortion that late is the only politician I've ever heard saying that babies, unwanted babies, should be killed after they're born. After they're born. There's only one person I've ever heard say that in politics on the radio, and that person was Barack Obama. He said it before he became a senator. He was saying, he was basically saying, it's not fair to the mother if after delivering the baby, she decides that, she doesn't want to take care of it. So, some nurse gets fired because she's got a live infant in there. And Barack Obama is just, I've heard him with my own ears. I've heard his voice basically saying, that this is groovy stuff. It's interesting. Well, first of all, just the fact that I'm married is interesting. The fact that I'm married to somebody this exceptional is interesting because she's always teaching me things and always saying remarkable insights on things. But I have to tell you, it's strange, and not pleasant to hear somebody who grew up in the Soviet Union looking at things that happen in America with just plain shock and disgust. That's not easy for me to take, that this kind of news shocks Russians, that they can't believe it. That I hear this all the time from Natasha. When we talk about things that the left does and how inverted things are, she tells her mom, tells her daughter back in Russia, and they can't believe that she's serious. They can't believe it. They're sure she's kidding. There's no way this could happen in any kind of a civilized society. Well, someday, someone might come along who understands these conservative values and who has enough of a heart and enough of a brain to stand out in front of these people and say, why are the Democrats so determined to murder black children? Why are they so determined to do this? Why, from Margaret Sanger, has this been a top priority for them? Why? More black children aborted now than born. Why? Why? Who do you think gets the enormous majority of these abortions? What is it about black people that Democrats hate so much that they will not let them vote their own mind, that they will not let them create their own futures, and now are determined to exterminate as many of them as they can before they get out into the world? What is it about Democrats and their policies? Why is it that Democratic policies have created these murder pits where there's, 3 or 4 young black men murdered every single week, or probably more like 10 every single week in every single major city in this country. And it's all the Democrats, and all they're doing is trying to kill as many black people as they can. And I want to know why. When you have a politician who's ready to speak in that kind of language, then it's over. It's over. And somebody has to have not just the courage, but the conviction, and also the just enough horsepower to be able to put these simple things together, but go to the heart of it. They constantly beating us with this moral argument, and it's just, we've got to, and it's so easy to defeat them morally. And this is the thing, I just can't find anybody who understands this, really. It's not about, hey, it's a better argument. It is a better argument, and it's a better economic system, and it's a better government. All of that's true. But it's not just better, it's morally better. It's good in the capital G sense of the word. This is doing good in the world, is fighting this fight. And it just, well, I guess if it were easy, they wouldn't need to bring out the best in people, huh? If it were easy.